Welcome, everyone, to this week's podcast. This week, I've got James Coppola from Been There, Dump That with me. And James is a friend of mine for many years, but more importantly, as importantly, or maybe less importantly, he provides me all of my dumpsters and we talk about college sports together and professional sports all the time. With that, this week, I want to have a brief conversation with you, James, about dumpsters. And I want to help people understand how to think about dumpsters, even if it's literally just getting a dumpster to get the stuff out of their garage in their home. I want that to be something that they can jump into and utilize, and we can give them some good information of how to think about how to get a dumpster and why it's important to think about certain things. So I'm going to start by telling you that when I think about dumpsters on our job sites, what I'm thinking about myself is I'm thinking about, can I get a dumpster that's going to look presentable in somebody's driveway, that's not going to tear up the driveway, that's going to arrive when they say it's going to arrive and gets taken away on the day that we want it to get taken away. Because for me, the dumpster is the very, very first thing that we create an impression with our client on the first day of a project. So I've used a couple of dumpster companies over the history of our 25 years, but one of the reason I made the change to you, quite simply, was literally because of how your dumpster looked. And I know that sounds like the silliest, most basic thing, but your dumpsters were always neat, they were always clean, they were always painted. And every time our prior dumpster partner would bring a dumpster to a project site, it would literally be rusted, dripping rust down the driveway, and it would just be a terrible visual for our company. And I didn't want my customer to look at that either. So I'm going to use that as a lead in for you to talk a little bit about your business, really from the perspective of not only what you're doing for me as a contractor when you're working with the lifestyle group, but really you sell dumpsters to, or rent dumpsters to people of all different walks of life, whether it's just a homeowner or a business or whatever. So will you talk a little bit about your thinking and how you've tried to set yourselves apart?
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate you having me on, Jeff, and we appreciate the partnership with with your team, and with Lifestyle Group. But I think a lot of times when people hear about dumpsters, there's some angst. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have a big triaxle truck coming into my driveway. They're going to scrape it. They're going to, as you said, there's going to be a rust bucket sitting there. And we try to do the exact opposite. As a subcontractor for you, we know we're representing you on the job site. So we 100% have a presentable unit. As you said, we do driveway protection with every delivery. And the other nice thing about what we do is it's a residential friendly truck coming onto the customer's property. So that allows us to fit into some tight spots. We also take great pride in the customer service you alluded to. That dumpster is usually the start of the project. So we'll be there when we say we're going to be there. And then at the same breath, we also know it's the end of the project. You know, the homeowner wants to enjoy that brand new kitchen, wants to enjoy that brand new room addition. So if we need it picked up Friday, we'll be there Friday. Pick the dumpster up, get it out of their way, sweep up around the area, and then hey, you're done with the project, and the homeowner can enjoy that new whatever you guys are doing, whether it's a kitchen remodel, a bathroom remodel, a room addition. So that's the one thing in our 12 years since we've been doing this. It's all about that customer service, having a presentable unit, protecting that driveway, and the quick service, but also if you need it on a certain day, being there on that certain day. And certainly there are contractors like you, new construction, remodelers, insurance restorations, another big part of what we do. This time of year, I know it's late spring going into summer, but spring cleaning, fall cleaning. So it's a full gamut. And then also too, I'd like to say we're in the business of helping others. We have, say Susie calls from Texas. Hey, my mom just died, or we're putting my mom in a nursing home. We need to downsize. We have a lot of stuff that we can't donate. We need to get rid of it. So we offer four sizes for the various projects, whether it's a small half bath remodel, whether it's a big remodel, or it's something in between. We have four sizes for our customers to take care of them. And, that's it. It's a pretty simple process. But a lot of our customers too, Jeff, don't know, they've never rented a dumpster before. They haven't been doing it for 20 plus years. So they'll call and we try to learn a little bit about their project. Hey, what exactly are you doing? Because they'll call and say, hey, I want a 6 yard, but they got 3 couches. Well, that's not going to work. And you're not going to be happy with me if I deliver a 6 yard dumpster. Or they might say, hey, I need a 20 yard, but I just have a couple small things, boxes and bags, old broken stuff. Hey, let me save you some money. You don't need something that big. So, that's what we try to do, try to educate our customers, help them out in any way we can. And it's been fun helping those in the greater Indianapolis area.
Yeah, you guys, you really do a great job. And I'm not doing this podcast as a commercial. I'm literally doing this podcast because my sister-in-law, a week or two ago, I guess maybe it's been 3 weeks now, called me and said, "Hey, I need a dumpster. Can you help me?" Because her grandmother had passed away. They were cleaning out a house and she didn't know who to call or where to go. So she called me and we
Yeah,
got her a dumpster out. You guys helped us out. But we just took it to the house so they could throw stuff away. And it just struck me that people really don't know what
right.
what they need or what to ask for. So I'm glad that you touched on that. Will you talk a little bit more about the driveway protection? I look at it as you putting down wood to protect the driveway, but can you talk about it from your perspective, what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, 100%. So when we deliver a bin, one of the things we go through in the order is, okay, where do you want the dumpster place? Similar when you call in an order, okay, hey, I want it at the left side of the driveway, right side, maybe in the kick out. And then what we do before the dumpster ever leaves the truck, there's wood boards placed on the property, both on the rear rollers on the back and the front of the dumpster. So it'll never actually touch the customer's property. And we see everything. We see a brand new concrete driveways, freshly sealed paved driveways. Certainly there's some gravel driveways and things like that, but and that's a point of angst. So when we tell them, hey, we put the wood boards down, we guarantee it's not going to scrape up or mark up your driveway. I think that gives that customer some peace of mind that, hey, we don't have to worry about that. We've heard horror stories, we've seen it happen to our neighbors. Our neighbors have talked about it, but when we deliver them, the wood boards are down, the rollers in the back sit on them. There's two in the back, and there's one that goes across the front, and it actually never makes contact with the customer's property.
Yeah, and then talk for a moment about the size truck that you use. I'll be honest with you, everybody will laugh and say, I know nothing about vehicles. I call everything a rotor. I have no idea
Yeah.
what pieces or parts go where. I can tell you the starting lineup for the 1981 Philadelphia 76ers, but I can't tell you car parts. But my brother knows that, so he keeps me out of trouble there. Will you talk a little bit about your smaller trucks and how functional they are for you? And I say that jokingly because I know you were in motorsports before. So
Yeah, no, it's when we say residential friendly, again, going back to kind of what I said at the beginning, it's not that big tri-axle
right.
truck. It's a single axle dually 550 truck that brings them in, and that's again two-part. One, it allows us to get into some tighter spots. You wouldn't believe some of the locations that not only our contractors or our homeowners want us to place a dumpster. A lot of times they'll still want to access the garage. So that smaller truck will allow us to put it, say, on the left side of the driveway or the right side of the driveway. They still want to use the walkway. So it's just a smaller, as we say, residential. Most of our fleet are Fords, 550s or a 600. And into, again, it's not angst for the customer, but again, we just had one downtown this morning in a tight spot, and there was
Mhm.
no way a big tri-axle truck that's almost 40 foot long is going to be able to get into it. So that's where our program comes in. That tight spot, the maneuverability of our trucks, and yeah, that it allows us to get in, put those wood boards down, gently place that dumpster down, and also make it convenient for not only contractors or the homeowners when they need a dumpster. A lot of times they'll ask, hey, is the stuff coming out the front door? Is it coming out along the side of the house? And then we'll help them decide, okay, this is the best and safest option to put the bin, especially in winter. The homeowner still wants to use the garage, so we try to place it out of the way of the garage, so the wife can pull her car in, stay toasty warm in the winter, or again, just logging the stuff out. We want to make it so it's not as much burden for, either the contractor or the homeowner.
Yeah, and we spend a lot of time on the front end talking about where we want to place a dumpster because we've got other material. Maybe we're working in the driveway and things like that. So we're always working around that as well and giving consideration. And a lot of times when clients will say, well, how big is it going to be? How much room is it going to take up in my driveway? I typically tell them it's the size of a car or an oversized car or truck. Is that how you would describe it?
100%. What we say is it'll fit in a standard parking spot.
Perfect.
So the
Okay.
max length of all of our bins are 11 foot. Some are just taller. All
Yeah.
of them do have two easy open doors on the back of them. So yeah. So that, and when they think dumpster, again, they think something huge that's going to take up a lot of area with the footprint of what we offer won't. So we say if you can put your car in that spot, we can gently place that dumpster in that spot. And sometimes it's closer to the road. Sometimes it's in the back, depending, if it's a side entry to garage. Every house is different.
Yeah.
The other thing, sometimes we have to go through alleys. We've had customers call and, hey, X company can't deliver; they can't get down the alley. Well, that's a benefit of our smaller trucks, and sometimes that helps the contractor too. Hey, they're not lugging everything through the front of the house. They can come out of the back of the house. The dumpster's there. It's less mess, less hassle for them, and that's what we try to do is just make it easier for either the contractor or the homeowner when we place those dumpsters.
So you might have actually just hit on something that I've always wondered about, and you're going to tell me now. So is the idea behind the taller walls that that dumpster will still always fit in a normal parking space? So the added space is really just going vertically up instead of getting the longer and bigger dumpsters?
Yeah, that is it, 100%. Some homeowners too. Not that we have a huge problem with unauthorized people using the dumpsters, but that 6 foot sidewall seems to be a deterrent.
Yeah.
The people just saying, hey, they just can't go and toss something over the side. So yeah, our 20 yard has the taller sidewalls. But again, any of our bins do have the two easy open doors. As I like to joke around, you can play Tetris, maximize your space with your
Yeah.
debris, stack things and put them in there where, you're going to be able to use them all. The nice part about our dumpsters too is they're 100% square. They don't have that bathtub shape where nothing fits in there right. And then you're
Right.
just kind of have a lot of extra dead space. So the square footprint of those dumpsters just allows you to 100% maximize the space. And as I like to say, play Tetris with whatever you're getting rid of.
Yeah. And I can attest relatively recently to the idea of literally being able to open the back end of that dumpster entirely so that you can walk things in and stack it to the point that you're making. And that does make it very nice and very functional to use it, even though it could be a taller wall scenario. The I want to hit on a couple of I'll just say your headaches or the challenges that you have when you're picking them up, because I think it's important that people understand. Most people are kind and courteous, and they don't want to make your lives more difficult. So I want to touch on two things that at least I'm aware of or we think about. One of them is that you really don't want people stacking debris over the top of the dumpster walls, right?
100%. We ask that it's a level load because what happens when we get to the customer's property, we tarp that bin. Not everything's C&D. There's some personal items in there that are gone straight to the landfill, and they don't want that blowing out on the road for somebody to pick it up. So
Right.
we do ask that it's a level load because when we do pick up the bin, and again, this is all regulations, that bin is securely tarped and secure once it's picked up from the property and taken to the disposal site. Depending on what it is, we try to recycle what we can. Some stuff will go to a transfer station or landfill, but the biggest thing is just security. And again, when somebody died, you're cleaning out the house or some old personal files and stuff like that, and they don't want that, again, blowing out and getting in the wrong hands of individuals. So that bin is 100% securely tarped and then taken to the proper disposal facility.
Okay, that makes sense. Is that an ongoing problem for you where sometimes people get a little overzealous and they do go to the high side, or is it really not that big a deal, just generally
There
speaking, day to
is.
day?
It's a little bit harder on the 20 yards because of the higher the sidewalls. A 10, if it's a little over, it's easier to tarp. The other thing, kind of along those lines, when we're talking about issues at upon pickup, One, this is going over at the time of the order, is the hazardous items. So people always ask, is this allowed in the dumpster? And there's kind of a quick spiel what we say. Hazardous items include no gas, paint, oil, tires, anything with Freon in the fridge. So that's an old freezer or an old refrigerator. So there's be some times our guys inspect the bin, make sure the doors are locked upon pickup, and if they do see, a full can of paint, a small fridge, we do have to leave that to the side because that is considered hazardous. The other thing that we see, and it is more on construction sites, is if the bin is loaded heavy on one side, because that'll cause it to tip when we pick up. So some jobs plaster per se, which is going to be heavier than drywall or just 2x4s. It's important that that dumpster is loaded level. That way we can safely get it on the truck and it's not going to tilt and cause problems for the drivers. Another thing when we're talking about safety, our drivers always get out, look above, check for power lines, cable lines, basketball holes, goals. We are in Indiana, and it seems like everybody put it near the basketball goal. So,
As it
those
should
are
be.
always, yeah, those are always obstacles to look out for. But that's part of the job. And again, before they put those wood boards down, examine the area. Hey, is it safe? And again, obviously the 20-yard bin is going to sit higher than a 10-yard bin. I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the places, whether it's been inside or whether it's been under gazebos, whether it's been under. I mean, we can write a book on some of the
Yeah.
crazy places we've gone, but again, we just 100% err on the side of caution, not only for our drivers but for the customer's property, because again, whether it's a contractor, we know we're representing you, but also to just taking care of the customer's property when we deliver and pick up the bin.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to point out is you guys want to know if somebody's putting concrete and some other types of material in that dumpster, right?
100%. Yeah, we use a smaller dumpster for the concrete, and we also try to that's one of the things we try to recycle when we can. So like the concrete, the dirt, the shavings, the landscape debris. We try to recycle that whenever possible. We used to have a lot of shingle recyclers in Indianapolis. We would recycle those when possible. So again, we're a family-owned business here in Indianapolis. I've been doing it for 12 plus years, and we try to recycle when possible. But some things just simply you can't. And they'll go to the proper station, whether it's a transfer station or a landfill.
Yeah. Is there anything I haven't touched on that you would want people to know, or you just think people should know as they think about renting a dumpster or having a
Well,
dumpster at their house for a project?
I think the biggest thing that we see when we're talking to people is either people underestimate how much stuff they have, or once they get it, they're like, "Man, I've tripped over this old toy for 2 years. My son's never played with it. It's broken. We can't donate it. Let's get rid of it." So when we're talking to a person, sometimes they're going back, "Well, do I need a 10 or a 15?" And what we tell them is, "We'll happily deliver either, but keep in mind it's cheaper to get a 15 than two tens."
Yeah.
So, we'll try to save money in that regard. And again, it's just some of the feedback. Hey, again, people either underestimate how much stuff they have, or, once they get it, they're like, let's get, let's get rid of it. We do a lot with a moving truck, people with school ending coming up, people moving. So there'll be a moving truck on one side of the driveway and a dumpster on the other for, the stuff they don't want to take with them to their new place. So, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. A lot of times we're from a contractor perspective, not the lifestyle group, but we're forgot about. Oh shoot, my guys are there.
Yeah.
How quickly can we get the dumpster? And we take great pride on that fast same day service. But again, maybe a homeowner called you at the last minute and said, "Sorry, my son's sick. I don't want anybody in the house today." So you have to pivot. And so instead of being in Carmel, you're going to be in Westfield today. Hey, can you help us out? And we try to do that for our contractors 100%. Just be there, get that fast delivery, and take care of them. Because here's the deal too: you don't want guys on the job site moving material twice. That's only going to cost more money and take
Right.
more time. So having that dumpster there when the project is started, moving it once, getting rid of it is the ideal situation for you, and we try to accommodate that the best we can.
Yeah, I'm actually very glad you said that because that's something that I would want, whether it's our clients or anybody to understand, is that for us, you're the we're the gift that keeps on giving to you because you do a good job for us. But in reality, it's very beneficial for us as well because if we're tearing out a bathroom or a kitchen or anything, and we take that material and we load it into a truck and then we drive it back to our office and we put it in our dumpster at our office and handle it that second time, it's far more expensive and just the labor is far more expensive than if we dropped a dumpster and used it for one or two things and not to have that driving back and forth because we get so many dumpsters so often, right? And so people don't typically understand that. What we tell clients is that let us use it for our job, let us fill it up to the manner in which we need to, and then when we're done, we'll let you know, and you're welcome to fill the rest of it with anything that you want to purge. And they are generally happy to oblige with that.
Appreciative of that. 100%. We see that a lot in the roofing game. Because there'll be times we'll sit at the landfill for an hour to dump just because whatever, long line, something like that.
Yeah.
And your guys are busy. They're more valuable to you on the job site doing the work. So let us handle that. That's our specialty.
Yeah.
And that way it takes it off what you guys are doing, allows you to concentrate on taking care of that customer.
Yeah. All right. I'll leave you with a funny story. This was before your time, and I'm sure you have 100 of these, but or more of these types of stories. But we were doing a project on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Gosh, this is probably, if I think it was 15 years ago, maybe it was 20. And our guys are coming out for a break, and they see a neighbor coming over with trash bags and they dump stuff out of the trash bags into the dumpster of the neighbor where we're doing our project. This neighbor or this client of ours was not a particularly nice couple anyway. I would do a much better job of weeding out and finding nice people these days, but I wasn't very good at it then. We were probably more desperate to do anything for anybody. But so our guys go out there and they're like, oh my God, they just threw a bunch of frozen meat from their freezer into this dumpster. And it was blazing hot in the summer, blazing hot. And so we already knew what our client was like. We immediately told our client, that was not us. Your neighbor came over and threw a bunch of stuff in here. You're going to have a problem. And the dumpster was already kind of a mess of full of debris and everything. That homeowner comes out, goes over to that neighbor and like, get over there and get all of that stuff out of my dumpster right now. And piece by piece, they started grabbing every package of meat back out because it was going to be nasty. It was going to be bad.
Yeah,
So,
and that's what this time of year, and we do some stuff too. And another aspect we didn't talk about, the freezers go out at Walmart per se.
yeah,
Fortunately, all that food they can't sell anymore, so we have to
yeah,
go and deliver them that, and just so I know exactly what you're talking about. If that stuff is in there, it doesn't smell too good after a couple of
yeah,
hot dry days. But that's part of it. What we do, we do help others, whether it's construction, whether it's just landscaping, whether it's helping a couple downsize, and it's not that dirty, grimy,
yeah,
job that I think a lot of people envision, and that's one thing we try to get across when somebody calls the office. Be that friendly staff. Again, we're here to help you. We're here to walk you through this process. Because again, as I said earlier, not a lot of people have done this before. This is their first time having to do that. So we're there to help it, make it easy. And as you said earlier, this isn't going to be a rust bucket that shows up on your property. It's not going to smell.
yeah,
Typically, our contractors are different, but our homeowner period's 7 days. So if we deliver Friday, we pick up Friday the following week.
mhm,
Sometimes they're like, man, we got family coming over. We're going to hammer it out this weekend, pick it up Monday. We can do that too. So we're there to make their life easier. And again, it's not as bad. When I spent, as you mentioned, 15 years in motorsports, and I joke around. I'm a garbage man now. I'm in the trash business, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I've enjoyed the relationships that we
yeah,
built with others in the industry, our customers. who I now consider friends. So it's
Yeah.
been great. We're a family-owned business, and look forward to continue helping the community.
Well, everybody will always know your dumpsters because they are bright lime green. You won't miss it, but they're also always incredibly neat and well kept. And again, I'll circle back to that as the end point. That to me is a first impression, and all we need to do is put a bunch of big lifestyle group signs on the side of them, and we'd be in great shape. But we'll keep marketing your business and proudly do so. So I appreciate it. So um, if anybody needs anything or has any questions with regard to dumpsters or even just this conversation and wants to have a ask a follow up, please feel free to reach out and I'll make sure that we get answers for you. And thanks again. I appreciate it, James, very much for taking a few minutes and talking about something that people may not have any idea about. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and appreciate everything your team at the Lifestyle Group does. It's a partnership, and it's a great partnership where we both help each other out, and you know we love helping you guys out on your projects and seeing the end product. That's the best. Go to your Facebook page, check out those end products, because you see the before pictures, that ends up in our dumpster, and then the after picture. Uh,
That's
Pretty
true.
cool. So
We
yes,
we
keep up
need
the great work.
Yeah, you always have to slide to the right to get to the stuff that you guys handled. When you look at the before, we always show the pretty one on the back yet first, and then we show the stuff that you took care of for us. So thanks again. Have a great day. Appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate your time.
All right, thanks.